The Business Owners Podcast is brought to you by Business, Business, Business and Enever Group with your hosts, Linda Reed Enever and Clive Enever. In each episode, we talk to other business owners about their experiences, challenges and successes. We'll also share tips and advice on how to grow your business and achieve your goals. If you're a business owner or you're thinking about starting a business, then the Business Owners Podcast is for you.
Welcome to the Business Owners Podcast. My name is Clive Enever and I'm your host. I am a business strategist and I help people discover clarity to more effectively engage with more of their ideal client more often. Today I'm having a conversation with Christine Blosdale, the expert authority coach. And we're talking about doing all the work but not getting the recognition you deserve. Hello and welcome, Christine.
Oh, Clive, thank you so much. I've been looking forward to our conversation.
And I, because we don't always run across expert authority coaches. But before we get to the business side of things, tell us about Christine, because I can detect a slight American accent there.
Yeah.
Have you been in America and learning their accent?
I grew up in America. I'm actually born and raised in Los Angeles, California. So I grew up in a time where there's very international people from all over the world. It truly is the melting pot, or was the melting pot. And I had a wonderful career there in broadcast journalism, being at a radio station for 20 years as a producer and host, on-air host. And I got a really lucky break at a certain point with America Online. There was no TikTok or YouTube or anything like that. It was just America Online. And I got a great opportunity to write for them and get my chomps, get my communication skills down, because I had to write and I needed to communicate and do some messaging and create content that connected with a lot of people. So I was very blessed to be put into certain circumstances in my life there. But I'm here now. I'm in Australia now. And I'm a citizen. Yay!
Very good. Yes, we like it when you turn up, and we like it even more when you become one of us.
Thank you for keeping me. Thank you for taking me. Yes.
Oh, we're apparently very laid back, and you got to be pretty nasty for us to throw you out.
Yeah, I was welcomed with open arms, and I love everything about this country, and especially since my wife is here. So it really helped our marriage that I got to come here and be a part of it. So yeah, I've been here for 6 years and very happy.
Very good. Excellent. So to learn a little bit more about Christine, is it coffee, tea, or something else?
Coffee. Too much coffee, but coffee. Yes, I do love a good coffee.
And are you a connoisseur, or is it just the hit?
This was funny because when I first came to Australia, I was a bit taken back by sticker price shock when I saw how much decent coffee machines were. Like in America, I would never spend $1,000 or whatever on a coffee maker. I was like, what is that? And for the longest time, I got one of those pod machines, and it was just doing coffee because it was coffee in a pod. Then it was like the angels started speaking and the clouds started parting and everything when I saw the schmeg, was it bean to coffee, whatever, grinding thing.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my wife, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's black and I don't have to have a pod and there's no capsule. And I said, oh, it's good for the environment as well. And but I looked at the price tag of that and I was like, there's no way I'm going to buy that. And you know what? She got it to me. She got it for me for Valentine's Day. So now I have organic beans. I have filtered water I put in there, and it's a frother as well. There's a little frothing thing. So I make sure I have delicious coffee every day. Thank you, my wife.
Excellent. So are you an early bird or a night owl, or can you do a little bit of both?
I used to be more of a night owl, but majority of my clients are in the United States. So they're in the East Coast and California and New York and everywhere in between. So I do have to get up quite early. My first sessions start at 6 a.m. my time because of that time zone difference. Even though I would like to be a night owl, man, I know that getting up at 5:30, that's not my cup of tea or coffee. And so I have to go to bed somewhat reasonably now. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of being up early, but that's what the job entails, and that's to be with my clients.
Absolutely. And let's face it, we're in the business of helping people. If you're going to help them, you better be there when they need it.
Yeah, and the good thing is that because I start early, by the afternoon, I'm good. I've got like my late afternoons free, so I can take the dog for a walk. I can do all kinds of different things And my Mondays are very open because it's Sunday in America. And I
Yes.
only have my Australian clients that book in with me on Monday. So I get to do a lot of my own things. The things that I need to do that I've been putting off, I get to do on Mondays. So it works out well.
So does that mean that you work Saturday in order to handle
Yeah.
Friday?
I do work on Saturday. Well, my wife's a real estate agent, so she's working every Saturday as well. So I will work up until about 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock on Saturdays to handle those Friday clients. Yeah, in the US.
There you go. So what book are you currently reading, Christine? And why can't you put it down?
The current book I'm reading is actually my 6th book. I have 5 already published, 5 bestsellers. But the latest one, I actually listened to my advice. I actually took my own advice. Because I'm always telling my clients, you need to write a book that has the title of what you do, your unique title of what you do. It needs to be in the title of the book. And it's a great marketing tool as well. But you need to inspire people or inform them, educate them. And so the book that I'm currently reading is actually, I'm proofreading it. And that's my book called The Expert Authority Code: How to Get Seen, Trusted, and Paid for What You Already Know, which is my branding, my signature tagline as well. So that's what I'm reading. I can't put it down because I need to get it published. I need to edit it. I need to make sure that it reads really well because it'll be turned into an audiobook as well. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm reading right now.
Excellent. Well done. What one word would you use to describe your journey so far?
We talked about this a little bit before we came on, and I'm going to change what I initially had thought because for me, synchronicity is something that there's a through line throughout my whole life. But when it comes to opportunities that I've had, clients that I've met, friends, my wife finding me on Instagram when I was 7,000 miles away, there was this synchronicity. There was this really unique thing that happened. And I was able to notice it and to recognize it and to go, oh, that's an opportunity right there. So I'd just say synchronicity.
That's a very handy word and very important. Do you think synchronicity is something that can be learned?
I think recognizing it as an opportunity or a direction is something that can be learned. We're taught as children, especially in the school system, the importance of reading, writing, and maths, right? Reading, writing, and arithmetics. But we're not taught to trust our intuition. We're not even taught really critical thinking. This is how it is. You need to repeat it.
Learning by rote.
Yes. And so our intuition, though, is a huge guide in our lives. And we're not taught to listen to it or to trust it or to develop it. And luckily, I've been able to listen to my intuition, and I use it a lot in my business with my clients. And I don't market myself as a psychic or anything like that, but I'd say when I work with you, my intuition is kicking in overdrive. And if I get goosebumps on an idea for you or something I think, a direction I think you would be doing really well in, those goosebumps is that intuition dropping. And I'll just blurt it out. I'll tell them, I'll say, this is what I'm feeling. That is a really good direction for you. And 9 times out of 10, their jaws are dropped open and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. I've always wanted to do that, or whatever, all the different things that they say. But yeah, I think it's recognizing those opportunities, those magical moments, that pull that you have, that pull when you meet someone and that pull says, this is somebody special. You need to talk to them a little bit more.
So essentially it comes back to listening.
Yes. We need to listen more. As a society, we tend to listen to talk. And you know, as the great podcast host that you are, that listening is one of the most important things, because when you truly listen, you actually get those golden jewels that you can then go into a whole different direction or drive the story to a different place. But we tend to listen in short sound bites, but only to start talking back, right? So it's really important that we get our listening skills down. Yeah. It would help some political leaders as well right now.
Let's not go there.
All right.
So I'm going to do something that I normally don't, but we're getting along so well that it'll be very difficult for me to offend you. But
you can't offend me.
Listening is one of the most important things. And as anybody who's read my book or listen to anything that I've said through the years, I try and encourage people to listen, which is simply having a conversation. And I'm finding that I'm having a great conversation with you, Christine, but I haven't said a damn thing.
No.
And all the time I'm learning stuff. And synchronicity, yes, I'm a great follower of synchronicity, because I think, though, that you have developed your synchronicity because you've listened and you've taken that in, thought critically about it for a moment. Critical thinking is something else that's one of my favorites, but there you go.
Yeah.
And you've identified here as an opportunity. So have you figured out how you actually do it, Christine?
Oh, I think because I was raised by a mother who valued my opinion, valued my feedback, made me feel important with my opinions, right? And confident. I think that's a huge part of it. But what I will say is that the importance of fine tuning your listening skills. And when I talk about listening, I don't mean listening to you actually speaking and having my ears listen. When I work with clients, one of the biggest issues they have is they're not listening to their listening, air quotes. They're not listening to their potential clients or customers, the people that they want to serve. I equate it to they're pushing a stapler. This is the greatest stapler in the world, Clive. It's black, it opens up. You can put more staples in it, and it does all these stapley things. And we as business owners and coaches, we tend to keep pushing the stapler, and we're not listening to the marketplace, to our potential clients who are saying, I don't need a stapler. I don't want a stapler. I would just really appreciate a sandwich right now. But we're so focused on this because we studied the stapler. We went to school about the stapler school. You know what I'm saying? We're not listening to what our audience actually needs and wants. And that you will have a very hard time with your business selling your programs, your books, your coaching things, if you're trying to give people a stapler when they just want a damn sandwich.
Absolutely, Christine. And of course, you mentioned earlier that people are generally listening to words. Words are, in the end, useless, except for the message they carry. It's important to listen to the message, not the words, in my view. However, you also mentioned something else there, that several times you said that your mother valued this and valued that and valued something else.
Yeah.
Business exists on 3 pillars: mission, vision, values. That's it.
Yeah.
You rightly pointed out, if we talk about the black stapler that opens up and you can feed in more staples, we're talking about features. At the end of the day, they aren't particularly helpful if they don't align with the value.
And you can have a 2-for-1 special or a 50% off for the month of March if you want. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But let's get to business, Christine, and the business of Christine. Tremendous number of people out there in business who started a business because who knows why, but it seemed like a really good idea at the time, and they find suddenly that they're invisible. What's the shift somebody needs to make to stop themselves being invisible?
Depending on the person, it sounds a little bit like a psychotherapy session, but depending on the person and the traumas that they've suffered from life. Okay. And listen, we all have imposter syndrome from time to time. High achievers are the people that have it the most, right? But if you have a little bit of that imposter syndrome happening and you're sinking all this money into a website and marketing and you're taking this course and that course, I call it Coursitis, by the way, when you take all these different courses.
Good night.
And things like that. But if you have in your subconscious mind, if you have this thing of, I'm not worthy of success, who would want to listen to me? I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too this. That has an energy. And we're not going to go too woo, but we all have an energy, a vibe, an imprint, a smell, a taste. Okay. We all have that. And you know, Clive, better than anybody, when you come across someone's social media or you go to their website, you can feel when it's a desperation. You can feel when they're saying stuff and you're like, that doesn't match with the videos that you put out, the energy that you put out. And really right now, what's gold is being authentic and being yourself. So with all of my material, if you go to my website, you've seen my media kit, you've listened to my podcast, or you read a book, there's a through line, and that is my brand, is my personality. It's my energy. I'm not a quiet little wallflower just sitting in the corner I'm extremely confident in what I can do. I'm not a know-it-all and I have no ego, but I'm extremely confident. All of my images and all of the stuff that I put out there is high energy. It's joy. It's excitement. It's funny, right? And so that is putting out an energy into the world. And so when people say, I'm doing all the things, but I feel invisible, we need to look at what things you're doing and how you're doing them. And that's the first step.
High energy, even when you have to get up at 5.
That's right. And it's not fun to be up when it's still dark outside.
So from what you're saying, when we do things from within ourselves, we are authentic. I've had many people ask me, how can I be authentic? It's just a fancy word for saying be yourself, hello.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
when we do that, is that what creates an in-demand situation?
it can. It can, but it's an interesting balancing act. You need to create trust from those potential clients, those people that are just kicking the tires, looking at your website, looking at you, who is this? You need to be able to develop trust, and they need to be able to be vulnerable with you. They need to trust you that you're going to do what you say and claim that you do on that beautiful website or on your videos, that you're actually going to follow through. So I tell my clients, there's a couple of different things. We need to be very careful with the words that we use in describing what it is that we do, who we help. And in our offers, we need to be very clear and concise. Pretend like your audience is 5th grade level, okay? But also, instead of us saying how great we are, allow the people that you have helped, allow them to say how great you are. So definitely a reviews page or a testimonials page is mandatory if you want to gain the trust. And don't just have a quote with somebody's name on it, because the cynic in most of us can look at that and go, oh, she made that up. That's fake, right? But if you have a video of a real person and you can ask the people that you've worked with, that you've helped, can you just do a 30-second video on your phone and send it to me? They'd be so happy to. And especially if you say, you know what, I'll put a link to your business saying thank you for your review or your testimonial. Put those puppies up on your social media. Put them up on your website so that when people come to check you out, they're not just hearing you say, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I've got all these credentials. Blech. You're having other people say how amazing you are and how you change their lives or their business.
Speaking of changing lives, I had a quick look through your website and I noticed that you were talking about something called a 90-day authority accelerator program.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
Thank you for asking, Clive. I have found there's a sweet spot of accelerating your expert authority. Personally, I don't believe in long contracts with people, like signing people on for a year or 5 years or any of that. I have clients that I've worked with for many years, but initially to have a huge growth spurt with expert authority, I find that in 90 days, and we work every single week together. So that's 12 sessions or something. So it's 3 months, consecutive months. In that time, we knock out the branding, your name, your title, your mantra, your signature. So my signature statement is, hi, I'm Christine Blosdale, the expert authority coach. I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs, coaches, business owners get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. And in that mantra, which I could say in my sleep, it tells you a whole heck of a lot about me without me going through a whole big spiel. And that's what we develop in that first couple sessions. And then we create a media kit for you so that you stand out. So if you want to get interviewed on shows, on magazines, we get that set up. But we start with the foundation of your business, because a lot of times people are way ahead of the cart. The horse is way, right? So you're starting to invite people into your business by posting stuff on social media and doing videos, but you haven't laid the foundation. So it's like inviting people into your house and you've already bought the curtains, but you have not laid the cement down. You have not laid the foundation. So we start with the foundation. And in that 90 days, we do all of that. And for folks who already have their business set up, but it's just not hitting, they know that there's something not connecting, then we go through all your offers and messaging. Basically, we do a little dissection of your website, see what's hitting, what's missing. But the 3 months is critical for that. Yeah.
And essentially, it's about being clear in your messaging. For example, your mantra, as you call it, is very clear about what you do. If the rest of your website doesn't keep pace with that, then people won't talk to you because there's not a clear message. Is that how it works?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it's also meaning repeating that mantra on different sections of your website, but also on your profile. We all have a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page. I hope we do. I hope we all have that. But on your LinkedIn page, let's say your profile should say who you are and who you help and what the final result is, right? So if you can have a signature statement in your profile and have the same thing, that mantra, have it across your different social media platforms as much as you can. And even when you're doing your social media videos, start off with that signature statement. Hi, I'm Clive, and I help people do this and do that. And then that's your signature statement.
And I run into people in business from time to time who say that they can't keep saying the same thing about themselves. How do you feel about that, Christine?
You know what? The thing is that our attention span of human beings is that of a gnat. So we're distracted quite easily. If you've seen Finding Nemo, Dory, we're constantly looking over here and there. And so we want to bring people back. And when you do have something that you can repeat and comfortably, that it comes out of your mouth, beautiful, then you're going to resonate with people. And maybe even not now, but 6 months down the road, when they see that statement or they watch a video and they hear it, it's going to connect with them and you're going to be much more trustworthy because they're going to say, that's their thing. That's their vibe, right? That's their jam. Okay. It's not a fly by night thing. It's not just something that they just thought up. That's it. So I think that's really important. And trademark your signature title or programs. I trademarked the Expert Authority Coach because it shows people that I'm serious and professional. And that little TM subconsciously, it's not like having a doctor in front of your name, but it does tell people that you're professional.
Indeed. And most importantly, all this work you do, especially that you work primarily in the States and live in Australia to do that, how do you balance your personal and professional life?
Are you familiar with human design, Clive, at all? Have you dallied in that? Here's the thing. For those in the audience who understand what it is, I'm a projector, and projectors have these bursts of energy, and I can hyper-focus and intensely get a lot done in a short amount of time. I am not built for being in an office from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, waiting for 5:01 to happen so that the prison doors can open. I am somebody that when I do a lot of work in the morning, and if I need a half an hour nap at 1 o'clock or I need an hour nap at 1 o'clock, I take that nap. The beautiful thing is that I get to work from home. I have a gorgeous toy poodle who I love so much. I get to spend time with her. I get to make sure that when my wife comes home that we've got a beautiful, healthy dinner made. And so I'm in my thriving environment, and that just makes my creativity go off the charts. So I can focus on my clients. I can focus on writing my book. I can focus on the projects that I want. So I've developed a really wonderful system here, and I'm super happy with it. I love it. And I could take it else. I could go remotely if I want to. But yeah, I'm very happy with the situation.
And it works for you. And I think that's the most important part about balancing. A lot of people seem to think that balancing is 50-50. It doesn't quite work that way. It's been my experience.
No, some days you can pour it on and go. And then other days you have to, again, it's that intuition and listening. It's listening to your body and listening to your brain, right? It's listening.
Yes. And speaking of listening, along your journey, have there been any special people who've popped up, any mentors, any coaches who've delivered something fantastic that you've been able to follow?
You know what? It's been a variety of people throughout my life who've impressed me and who've impacted me. And I am so appreciative of every single one of them. But the biggest impact was when I was very young and I had a teacher who realized that we all learn differently. It's not one size fits all. And so with students, myself included, she was able to see how I grasped onto things and got it, right? That was inspiration for me because I realized too that not everybody learns the same way. And
Yeah.
so with your clients or your potential clients, when you're able to sit down and actually listen to them, and then in that conversation, you're going to learn how they learn and how they grow and how they thrive. Miss Floyd is her name. She was my like sixth grade teacher. And
Perfect.
I still follow her on Facebook. She's still
Oh,
there.
there you go.
Yes.
Perfect. What advice would you give to somebody starting out fresh now, that with all the experience you have? What gem would you offer?
Tap into your passion, tap into that, and honor the pull. Don't second guess yourself and say, oh, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that. Don't allow that, because that imposter syndrome, it keeps more and more people away from really having a fulfilling life, but more importantly, from impacting others and for changing the lives of others. So if you feel the pull and you have a passion for it, then explore it. There is no test. Nobody's going to slap you on the wrist and say, bad, you did that. You need to test the waters and see what you like. That's the other thing, Clive. You need to try things and go, oh, I'll try this for a little bit. Oh, I didn't like how that felt. Okay, that's icky. Let me try something else. And work with a mentor, work with a coach, work with a guide who can help you avoid those potholes that we have in business and in life.
Tremendous advice. Thank you, Christine. Thanks for joining us. But before you go,
Yeah.
where can our listeners find you?
Super easy. They can go to expertauthoritycoach.com or they can go to theexpertauthoritycoach.com, whichever. And on that website, there are buttons galore all over the place to book a free discovery call so we can sit down and chat. And they can go there today and book a session with me tomorrow. It's absolutely free, no stress. And that way I get to find out a bit about their business and where they're at, where they're coming from, and most importantly, where they want to go. I'll use some of my intuition in our conversation.
Thank you, Christine. There's tremendous advice in all of the things that we've discussed for somebody to take advantage of. To our listeners, thanks for joining us on the Business Owners Podcast, and be sure to join us for our next episode. And of course, visit all the back episodes because there's gems of wisdom in every one of them. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Clive. You're fantastic. Thank you, love.
Thanks for listening to the Business Owners Podcast. We encourage you to connect with us on social media and join our community of business owners at businessbusinessbusiness.com.au.